Hello and welcome to the Basketball Addicts Podcast, the one podcast in the world that answers the only question that truly matters in the world is how you get inside the finals? Can you get in? How can you get inside the finals when you can't even get in? And that's not where we're going to go today. Not at this very moment, because what we're going to talk about is something very near and dear, you know what I mean, to Jason's heart because he does like all of the college basketball scouting and things like that for this podcast. We're going to talk about March Madness. March Madness
Yep.
brackets have been released today, and we are going to release one ourselves.
Yep.
Woo!
Woohoo.
Just meanwhile, just look. Do not judge my picks. I'm sorry. I may be a basketball addict, but I do not watch college basketball as much as my friend here. So
Yeah.
I am going to be completely oblivious to everything. So if I pick something and you be like, "That's a dumb pick," please don't pick on me.
Yeah, I think everybody's got, you know, are we your expert breakdown of this college bracket? No. Well, but are we gonna make our picks and give you decent reasonings for it? Sure. You know what I mean? Like I've watched a lot of college basketball in my life. I can kind of do this. You know what I mean? It's not like I
Hmm.
watch a lot of college basketball today, but it's a fun time. Everybody wants to make their brackets, and we're gonna do ours, and we're gonna see how bad we do because that's how everything
You're right.
goes.
How bad
Nobody
we
ever
do?
wins this.
Yeah.
There is no winner here, boys and girls. All
No.
losers. It's all of
For
us.
real. That's honest. That's honest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then after we make it the bracket, and then we're gonna talk about normal NBA stuff, and it's gonna be a fun podcast today. So, yeah, Chris, you ready to kick it off?
Yeah. Let's run it.
Okay, so we're gonna be filling out this bracket one step at a time. We're gonna explain our picks to you guys as we move around all through this. So the first matchup we have is Alabama versus a 16 seed. We don't know who is playing in that game yet for the 16 seed because I think there's a play-in that happens before this. But me personally, I think only in history once has a one seed ever beat a 16 seed, so I don't really need to break this down. I'm choosing Alabama. Chris.
I was about to say, yeah, I'm rolling with Alabama, and not for that reason, but because of Roll Tide.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
All right.
I like
Sounds
Alabama
good.
football, so I might as well like Alabama basketball. So
Okay. All right. Next matchup we have is an 8 and 9 matchup. We have Maryland versus West Virginia. When I look at the stats of that, Maryland has lost to Tennessee 3 times, beat Purdue once. It looks like Maryland's got a big point guard on their team. Me personally, I really like the stats, and Maryland looks like a team that really holds teams to a low scoring amount, and it looks like West Virginia plays up and down. So
hmm
I'm gonna go with Maryland. I'm gonna go with Maryland to slow the game down. Looks like they have a good guard. Good guards do well in March Madness, so I'm going Maryland. What about you, Chris?
West. I was going with West V.
Okay. Hey, who knows? This is March
Yeah,
Madness, bro. No matter how good I sound explaining things, I could be wrong.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and go with the next one. Then we got San Diego State, the 5 seed, versus. Dear goodness, I've never seen that. It's COFC. I'm gonna go guess. Looks like Charleston.
Charleston. Yeah,
Charleston of I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either.
They have great stats though. There's a 17-point gap between opponents' points per game and their points per game. Looks like San Diego State's lost to Arizona. You
Hmm.
know, Charleston's lose North Carolina. Looks like San Diego State's talented, one of more experienced, featuring all juniors and seniors, which is good in March Madness. They're deep,
Hmm.
9-man rotation, top 10 defensive efficiency. That's nice. Charleston lacks a game breaking star, with 5 players scoring double figures on a nightly basis. Not easy a team to slow, push the tempo, top 100 teams in offensive defensive efficiency, but lack the perimeter precision is a concern when they cherry pick first round episode. All right, so so after reading that, I think I'm gonna go with San Diego State. I was leaning Charleston just by the stats, but I'm gonna go San Diego State because a team that can beat that type of team would have to be a team that's good at shooting the threes. They're gonna push
Mm-hmm.
pace like the way they play. The way they could beat a San Diego State is 3-point shooting, get hot, right? It's only one game, but in this situation, I'm gonna take San Diego State.
I agree.
What do you think, Chris? Okay. All right. All right. Next matchup up, we have University of Virginia, 4 seed versus the Furman. I don't know what their the rest of their name is. Furman something. Statistically speaking, as I've known for a long time, Virginia is one of the best defensive coaches in all of basketball, even in the NBA. A lot of NBA teams take what he does. Looks like Furman pushes the pace. 82 points per game is ridiculous. Uh, they lost to NC State, lost to Penn State. Furman did. Virginia's beaten Baylor. They lost to Houston. So looks like they got Cavaliers are the best offense in terms of assist to turnover ratio. Geez, that fits a defensive team.
Yeah.
Melts off time of the clock, real efficiency, keeps games close, possession court. They have 3 guards that shoot it consistently from 3. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the other team, looks like the Furman Paladins, are really highly rely on the 3-point shot and hovered around top 10 in points per game. Aren't strong defensively. Furman placed looks like the player of the year for their conference is on their team as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna be contradictory. So Virginia's defense is based around allowing the 3-point shot and really taking away spacing and cutting and like all this type of stuff that's like collegey offenses. But it sounds like Furman really relies on the 3-point shot. So I think they might be able to shoot Virginia out of their defensive scheme. So I'm gonna pick the upset here and take Furman.
I chose Virginia.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I chose Virginia.
All right.
Cavaliers,
Okay.
so I had to.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. All right. Next matchup up we have is Creighton
Wolfpack.
versus NC Wolfpack. Is that what they're called? Yeah, NC State.
It's Wolfpack.
All right. So NC Wolfpack's got a nice differential points per game, opponents points per game. ACC team. Creighton's the 6th seed though. Looks like Creighton split against UConn. It looks like Creighton is a well-rounded team. Center is a 2-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year. Wow. Best interior players. Blue Jays have a balanced offense, makes free throws and threes. However, Creighton lays heavily on their starting 5, so any fatigue or foul trouble will expose their inexperienced bench. Wolfpack's excel in transition, high scoring backcourt. Draquavion Smith and some other guy, Jacardo Jr. They have wins over Duke, Miami. Proof of concept, turned to playing a high level, extended period of time. So for me personally, I actually have seen Draquavion Smith and I scouted him, and he's an extremely inefficient player. And their guards are literally very hot and cold. So I think it gets a well-balanced Creighton team, even though NC State's the bigger conference and most people might choose them. I'm going to choose Creighton. Who do you think's going to win?
I'm going with the Wolfpack, baby.
All right, NC State going with the upset.
Because of Coach V.
Hey,
right.
Okay.
R.I.P. Coach V, man.
Yeah. He had one of the best speeches you'll ever see.
Yeah.
All right. We got the number 3 seed Baylor Bears, who won the national championship a few years ago. And UCSB, I don't know what that means. I'm guessing it's California school.
Yeah, California, Berkeley, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. If you see the breakdown, the Bears they're dangerous, excellent offensively, take a high presence of their shots from the 3-point line and the mid range. And they have Keontae George, Adam Flager, L.J. Cryer. They have weaknesses defensively, is what it looks like for Baylor. And USCB run an efficient offense. They shoot 46% from the field from their top 6 scorers. For the 6 games, a stretch, they've won in a row, so they're kind of hot. They play a slow pace style, which is problematic of opponents. See, this is one where I love Keontae George for the draft, but I don't want that to get away from making this pick. So even when I put that to the side, I still think Baylor's got too much offensive firepower for a well balanced, slow paced team like this. So
Mm,
I'm gonna choose Baylor. Who do you think?
I'm going with Baylor.
All right, Baylor Bears. All right. Next matchup up is Missouri versus Utah State. All right. So the Tigers are a team that can put up a lot of points, have defensive lacknesses and weaknesses, give up many points. Veteran team, play aggressively from the 3 point line, forces turnovers. Uh, they're a terrible rebounding team. All right. Let's look at Utah State. Fun to watch. Offense, very efficient. Beat you from inside and out. Junior guard, senior forward, long range. Um, I think in March Madness, teams that don't rebound well have issues. So I'm gonna take Utah State inside out offense. Who you taking?
I'm going with Missouri.
All right. Bet. Next game up, we have Arizona versus Princeton, 2 seed versus the 15 seed. Arizona's Pac-12 champs, experienced, very good team, excellent from 2 point, 3 point range, great stats. Um, Princeton won the Ivy League, relies on one player to score, rebound, and distribute. I just think too much talent here for a team that doesn't have really an identity in Princeton. I'm gonna go Arizona. Pretty easy choice here.
Yeah, Arizona.
Okay. All right. So what do you have next, Chris? Do you have Alabama versus something, or do you have Purdue?
Um, well, that's East is at the bottom, so I have Alabama versus West V.
Okay. So who do you think is gonna win between those two teams? I have Alabama, Maryland. So who do you think Alabama versus West Virginia?
I'm rolling with Alabama all the way.
Okay. Um, Alabama also has Brandon Miller. Who's gonna be a great draft pick. Uh, yeah. After looking at Alabama's got a lot of size, I'm gonna go Alabama too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll agree with you. All right. So who do you have in the next bracket?
San Diego State and Virginia.
Okay. Who do you have winning?
Virginia.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and choose. I'm gonna choose the 13 seed Furman. Upset it all.
Wow.
Upset over
Upset
San
it.
Diego State. Yep.
Upset. Dark horse. I got you.
Yeah. All right. All right. So I got who you have next. I think you have NC State versus Baylor. Am I
Yeah.
correct?
You have NC State versus Baylor.
Who are you choosing?
I'm going with the upset. Wolfpack, baby.
Wow, NC State going all the way to the Sweet 16.
They're
You know,
dancing.
um, you know, Creighton having the defensive player of the year in their conference at the center position against a guard-oriented offense in Baylor. I'm going to choose Baylor.
Okay.
Okay. So who do you have next? I think you have Missouri versus Arizona.
Yeah, I got
Is that
Mizzou
correct?
versus Arizona, and I chose Arizona.
All right, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and choose Arizona as well.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm guessing you have Alabama versus San Diego State now,
Uh,
or Alabama versus Virginia. You have Alabama versus
Alabama
somebody
versus
now.
Virginia. Yeah, versus
Okay,
Virginia.
who do you have winning?
And I have Alabama. Like I said, I got them all going all the way.
All right, I agree. I'm taking Alabama over my 13 seed, my wild card in this conference, Furman. Um, so who do you have winning between? I'm guessing NC State and Arizona.
Yep, I have NC State winning. Told you.
Oh, all the way. All
All the
right.
way.
Sounds fun. Okay. I think I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go with Arizona as well. I'm gonna put them both in there, Alabama, Arizona. So who do you think is gonna win between Alabama and Arizona, Chris?
Oh, for you, I have Alabama. Like I said, going all the way. So for me, it's Alabama, NC State. So Alabama's winning that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have Alabama beating Arizona as well. So we both have
Yeah.
Alabama in our Final Four. So after you
Yep.
went through that section, so where are you at now? Are you at Purdue?
Yeah. Or are we not going across to the Midwest?
Are you going to the Midwest?
No, we can just do the East. It's fine.
Okay. All right. So you have Purdue,
So
right?
Purdue. Yep, I have Purdue.
Okay. All right. So the first
Yeah.
matchup is Purdue versus 16 seed. I'm guessing we're both going to choose Purdue.
Yes.
Also, Purdue's led by a 7'4" post player. Ridiculous. He's got
Wow.
post skill too.
Yeah.
Super tall.
Interesting.
All right. So we got Memphis versus FAU. Who do you think's going to win this one?
Memphis. Memphis.
All right. Fast break.
I got Memphis.
I'm just looking at the. It looks like FAU is balanced defensive efficiency. I've had the pleasure of watching Memphis this year, because I watched them play against to scout somebody, and Memphis is long as fuck. Like they're super long, so I'm taking Memphis too.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. All right, so we got Duke Blue Devils, which I am a hometown. I just love Duke. I love Duke versus Oral Roberts. Who do you have?
Now that is a very funny name, Oral Roberts. I'm going with the Blue Devils, but just off the funniness, I should pick Oral Roberts, but maybe not. I'm sorry if there's any Oral Roberts fans out there, or someone who goes to Oral Roberts is watching this. I'm not making fun of your school. The name is just funny to me. Oral Roberts. What Don't shoot me.
Oral Roberts are a 17-game win streak. Shoot the ball from all levels. 6 guard, 22 points per game. 7'5" center. Was blocked 100 shots. I love Duke's size inside, but it just seems like Duke always loses at the beginning of March Madness. It just for some reason they always lose. I watched them play this year. The guards are a little weak, so I'm gonna choose upset. Oral Roberts over Duke, even though I'm a Duke
It's
fan.
possible. Shoot,
Yeah.
bust my bracket.
Derek Lively though is better than everybody thinks he is scouting wise. A little bit of cheese there. People lead people on there. Tennessee versus the University of Louisiana Raging Cajuns. What do you got? I love Cajun food. So
Cajun. I'm going with Tennessee.
because you're the late Ted Icy. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
the aggressive man-to-man offense. Losing guard. Oh, finish regular. Looks like they're inconsistent from 3 and free throws. Wow. Third straight year. Elite rebounding team. Struggles at catching at easy points. Even low volume. Very accurate from distance. I'm going to choose an upset again. I'm choosing the Raging Cajuns over the only 10 I don't see, obviously.
Obviously.
All right. We got the University of Kentucky versus Providence. Kentucky's got Cason Wallace, who's a defensive god at the guard position. I'm just going to say that now. So it looks like Kentucky is a good rebounding team. Let's see here. They're defensively not very defensive. Providence is not very good defensively. Efficient offense. Has struggled against teams that are struggling, shooting well from the perimeter. Yeah, I think they're a bad matchup for Kentucky. I think Kentucky wins. Beats Providence. You have Kentucky too, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right, so we got Kansas State University versus MTST. I have no clue what the fuck that is, but
Montana State.
Oh, probably. So it looks like we got Kansas State, stellar defense, big duo of Keontae Johnson, Marquise Noel are to spot the big dance. High offensive and defensively, they have issues with turnovers. All right, the Bobcats have 1 loss since January. Jeez. One of the top nations at the free throw line. Offense lacks upside due to inaccuracy from deep. Yeah, I think I think Kansas State rolls through this team. Who do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Kansas State.
All right. Now we have Michigan State versus USC at the 7-10 matchup. Me personally, looking at it, looks like the Spartans are good offensively. They shoot hot from the 3-point line. Looks like they is the defense that teams hit 3% against them. Looks like the Trojans are a top 50 team in offensive and defensive efficiency. So it looks like they're a complete team.
Mhm.
They're stifling defense from inside the 3-point arc. They only have 2 players on the team that average more than double figures on the team in the season.
Mm.
I'm gonna go with Michigan State. What do you think?
Shaking my head, Jay. Shaking my head.
All right.
I'm
No
going with
comments or
USC.
love. All right.
Yeah, you know why.
No, I actually don't.
Don't like Michigan.
All right. That's such a good choice. That's a good choice. All right. We got
Ohio State.
Marquette.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Marquette versus University of Vermilion? I don't know what that is.
Vermont.
Vermont. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Looks like Marquette's one of the fastest offenses in the league, but they're very slow defensively. They have a Big East Player of the Year, very good passer. Paint dominant team, and looks like Vermont is 15 games straight. Wow, good assist turnover ratio and good 3-point shooters. I'm gonna go with Marquette.
Yeah, I'm going with D-Wade's alma mater as well.
Hey. And Jimmy Butler's.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Butler too. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm guessing you're going back up to the top where Purdue versus Memphis.
Yep.
All right. So who do you have in this one?
I'm rocking with Purdue.
Man. Memphis has a lot of size. They don't rebound well. I think I'm gonna go agree with Purdue, but I think that they might fall later down the line. So who do you have in your next matchup?
Duke and Tennessee.
All right, and who do you have winning?
Duke.
All right, love little Coach K in your blood.
Yeah.
All right, so I have the 2 upsets making it here. I got Oral Roberts versus the Raging Cajuns, 12-13 matchup. One of these 2 teams getting the Sweet 16. You know, I definitely think that between these 2 teams, I'm gonna go with Oral Roberts making it to the Sweet 16.
With the upset, and they're going to the Sweet 16. They're still dancing.
Yep. All right. So who do you have in the next your next bracket?
I got UK versus Kansas State.
All right. Who do you have winning that one?
Kansas State.
So I'm pretty sure Keontae George is a guard. Conte Johnson is a guard for Kansas State. In case of Wallace, is such a world class defender at that guard position. So I'm gonna go with Kentucky.
Okay.
All right. So next we have Michigan State versus Marquette, or unless you have USC versus Marquette.
Yeah,
so
USC.
Who do you have?
Yeah. Marquette. I'm riding with Marquette all the way.
Okay. All right. Looks like MSU is. I'm gonna go with Marquette as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm guessing you have Purdue versus Duke. Who do you have winning? Going to the Elite Eight.
Purdue.
Okay. All right. Oral Roberts has a 7'5" center. I'm going Oral Roberts to the Elite Eight, baby.
Okay. I mean, remember what happened with Taco Fall in the March Madness?
This is the reason why he matters is Zach Edey 7'4", right? Like the Purdue center is 7'4". The offense runs through them. Purdue doesn't have much else other than Edey playing off of Edey.
Okay.
All right. So who do you have?
Yeah.
Marquette versus who?
Kansas State.
All right. Who do you have winning that one?
I really want to choose Kansas State, but I think I'm gonna ride with Marquette all the way.
I'm gonna choose Marquette as well. All right. So you have Marquette versus Purdue. Who do you have coming out of that one?
Purdue.
Yeah. This is where Oral Roberts' run ends, and I'm going Marquette in my final 4.
Yeah.
All right.
Purdue.
So are you going to the Midwest or the West now?
Let's go over to the West.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
So in the West, we have Kansas versus Howard. I don't think
Mhm.
this is a conversation. Kansas wins, right?
Yeah, the Jayhawks, without a doubt.
Okay. All right. So now we have Arkansas versus Illinois.
Mhm.
Um, I know Arkansas has a gazillion draftable prospects here, but they're all pretty raw, so they're not going to make a huge difference. They have good rim protection. Defense is pretty solid. Inconsistent 3-point shooting because most of those guys have issues shooting threes. Um, Illinois enters in the bracket. Strong defensive team. Struggle against among worst 3-point and free throw shooting teams in the land. Uh, I'm gonna go ahead and say that since they play such similar styles, the individual talent of Arkansas is gonna win.
I would say the same. I chose Arkansas as well.
All right. We have a 5 seed St. Mary's versus a VCU. Um, so I looking at the stats, look like they have pretty similar stats. St. Mary's, one of the best defensive squads. They got a DPOY guy in their conference.
Yeah.
Pressure the ball. Looks like they have guards that lead in scoring. And VCU looks like they have everything good defensive. They first force turnovers, pressure opponents. After they cross midcourt, they do struggle at taking and making threes. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm gonna take St. Mary's, but this game is gonna be very good. Who do you think?
Hmm? Oh, I got
Who do you have?
VCU.
VCU.
Yeah.
All right. Next game up is UConn versus Iona. UConn's got a nice two guard. I think his name's Jordan Hawkins. He's really good. They were 14-0 in conference play. 14-0. Wow. Oh no, pre-conference play. Um, boast a reliable offense inside and out. Rise frequently on ball movement, finding the open man. And looks like Iona, who has pretty good
Mhm.
stats. Looks like Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino is the coach of this. Classic. They avoid turnovers. Pesky defense. They got MAAC Player of the Year. Efficient scorer from the field. Nation's most accurate free throw shooter. Could run against teams that could break through their press. I've seen UConn play,
Mhm.
and they're a very half court team, and their center is like built out of granite, and he's super big, bulky. I worry about him and the way they play against a press team like this, so I'm choosing the upset. I'm going Iona.
Okay. Okay.
Who you
I'm
have?
rocking with UConn.
Alrighty. Next team we up is have TCU versus either ASU or Nevada. We don't really know. So
Yeah.
it's basically how good do you think TCU is? um,
Oh wow, they don't have any stats. Oh, I'm choosing TCU off top. I don't even know what the team is. I don't know what the team is.
it's
TCU.
either Arizona State or Nevada. TCU struggles to make 3-pointers, so creating second chase points, high rebounding rate, low 3-point
Did-
shooting team. I'm gonna choose the 11 seed. I'm gonna choose either ASU or Nevada to win this one. I don't even know
But we
what they
don't
do.
know. We don't know what they do. I'm
The
choosing TCU.
invisible man is gonna beat TCU.
No way. I'm not with that.
All right, the next matchup up we have is Gonzaga versus the Grand Canyon, which that's an interesting place to have a university. Could you
Yeah.
imagine just getting lost there? Like, come on, who puts it there?
Yeah,
Um,
Grand Canyon University.
yeah, Gonzaga. I could tell you this team because I watched them play. Drew Timmy plays in the post. He's really good,
Mhm.
6'10". He's slow. They have good 3-point shooting. They have good depth. They have a 6'10" power forward that can space from three. Really good 3-point shooting. It's really slow defense. It looks like GCU is led by guards, and they are known to stick it and be better on the offensive. They are efficient from the offensive side of the ball, particularly from the 3-point line, and rely on bench play. I'm gonna go with Gonzaga. Too much post play, too much consistency, um, too much shooting. I'm gonna go with Gonzaga.
Yeah, I'm going with the Zags as well.
All right. So next we have Northwestern versus Boise State. I didn't know Northwestern had a good basketball team. They've sucked for so long in basketball. It's cool though. 7 versus
Yeah.
10 seed. All right. Well, looks like Northwestern is a very good defensive team. Struggle offensively. They have good talent in the backcourt. Looks like Boise State has lost 3 of their past 5 games, so they're kind of going slow. They're a solid offensively, but have a standout defensively. They have a good amount of guys that kind of score, but nobody that's a stud on that team. I feel like this is 2 similarly built teams, so I'm just going to choose the bigger conference one to go with Northwestern. 7 seed.
I'm going Northwestern as well.
All right. Next matchup we have is UCLA versus UNC Asheville. UCLA looks like well, I know UCLA has Jalen Clark, Jaime Jaquez, who's a nice mid-range shooter for himself. They have a really good center that moves extremely well, who's going to be a draftable prospect. Small guards that make good passes. And looks like the other team, UNCA, is a good 3-point shooting team. Have a versatile 6'11" Drew Pembler, who's averages 21 a game, 9 and 2. That's pretty nice. So they have really good scouting stats. I'm just going to go with UCLA due to talent. I just think UCLA will win this one.
Yeah, I'm riding with UCLA as well.
All right. So now we have, I think you have, do you have Kansas versus Arkansas as well?
Wait, Kansas. Yes, I have Kansas versus Arkansas.
Who do you have winning that one?
Kansas.
I'm gonna agree with you. I think Grady Dick is overrated as an NBA prospect, but yeah, I think Kansas is gonna win this one. All right, so who do you have in the next bracket?
VCU versus UConn.
Okay, and who do you have winning?
UConn.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go. I have St. Mary's versus Iona. Rick Pitino's squad. It looks like St. Mary's wants to slow down the pace as well. So I think Iona's press is going to give them issues. So I'm going to choose Iona as well. I think Iona is going to make the Sweet 16. Rick Pitino makes it back.
That's cool.
All right. So who do you have in your next matchup?
TCU and Gonzaga.
All right. Who do you have winning?
Going with the Zags.
Yeah, I have the mystery 11 seed versus Gonzaga, and the mystery 11 seeds run ends here versus the Zags as well.
Yeah,
it's hard to know who I'm facing. I just didn't believe in TCU. All right, the next matchup I have is UCLA versus Northwestern. Do you have that as well?
Yes.
All right, who are you choosing?
UCLA.
Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and Northwestern struggles offensively, so a complete team like UCLA is going to win as well. I agree. All right. So you have Kansas versus who in the lead eight?
Versus the Zags? Yeah, I think so. Oh, no, Kansas
I meant
versus
Sweet
UConn.
16. I meant Sweet 16. Yeah. Sorry. My bad.
Yeah, no problem.
Who
Kansas versus UConn. UConn.
Okay. You have UConn upsetting Kansas here. Wow. Okay, cool.
Oh, no. I have Kansas beating UConn. I have Kansas versus UConn is what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. I have Kansas versus Iona here. And I think Iona's run stops here. Kansas got a lot of people that can expose presses with all the shooting. So we have Gonzaga versus UCLA. Do you have the same matchup in the Sweet 16?
Yes.
All right. And who do you think is going to win?
I got the Zags.
I think since UCLA's got such good defensive centers versus Timmy, I'm going to choose UCLA. I think they're a bad matchup.
Okay.
All right. So who's your Elite Eight here?
Okay, I have Kansas versus the Zags.
Okay, and who's winning?
I have Kansas.
Okay, I have Kansas versus UCLA, 1 versus 2 seed here, and this is gonna be a good game if that actually happens. I just think Kansas has got way too much firepower, 3 point wise and defending that would give Jaime Jaquez because they have bodies to throw at Jaime Jaquez. Jeff Wilson's a really solid college player, and he'll have a role
Mm-hmm.
in the NBA as a 3 and D guy. So I'm taking Kansas, into the Final Four.
Okay.
All right, so now we're in the last bracket for this special. We have the Midwest, Houston versus Kentucky. Who do you have?
Oh, Houston versus North Kentucky. I have Houston.
I agree. No really reason to break that one down. Next matchup's Iowa versus Auburn. Who do you have in that one?
Auburn.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like Iowa's hot. Keegan Murray is Keegan Murray from Sacramento Kings has a brother that plays very similar style to him.
Mm-hmm.
Is a leader of this team. Looks like Auburn has a really good center. They stretch the floor, streaky shooting. I'm gonna go with Iowa. I'm gonna choose Iowa instead of Auburn. I'm gonna go with the star talent here.
Okay.
All right, we have Miami versus Drake, which is hilarious because it's like Miami party life versus Drake the singer. That'd be like,
Yeah.
ha ha ha. Okay, okay. There's your dad joke of the day.
Right.
So who's gonna win, Chris? Miami or Drake?
I'm going with everything in me wanted to pick Drake just because like that's my favorite rapper, but I chose Miami.
All right. It looks like Miami is good from 3 point line, lacks size, pretty good defensively, and let's see what Drake is. Drake is led by an experienced starting five. All 23-year-olds are over. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Dangerous 3 point shooting team. Take care of the ball. 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio from the point guard. Jesus
Crazy.
Christ. I'm going with Drake, the singer, and Drake, the college. Going to upset. Drake has defeated the city of Miami multiple times. All
You know
right.
what? I'm changing my pick. I'm going with Drake.
Hey!
Changing my pick. Changing my pick.
All right. Next one up we have is Indiana versus Kansas State.
Kent State.
Kent State. My bad.
In Ohio. From Kent, Ohio.
Yep. All right. Who do you have in this one?
I chose Kent State.
I knew it. It looks like
Yes.
Kent State has a star point guard, 17.6 points per game. They play tight games with Houston Gonzaga, so that's pretty nice. The Hoosiers, I can tell you about them. Trace Jackson, really good post guy, 6'10", athletic, defends the rim well. He's going to be a draftable prospect. I'm in love with Jalen Hood Schifino, guard, 6'6" guard. I'm so high on him. They're really good defensively. They shoot threes well. This is one where my scouting bias is going to win out, and I'm going to choose Indiana because I'm just in love with Jalen Hood Schifino. All right.
Yeah.
Next matchup we have is Iowa State versus the mystery 11th seed. It's either going to be, I'm guessing, Mississippi State or Pittsburgh. So who do you have coming out of that one, Chris?
Iowa State.
All right. Let's say the lead guard, one of the strongest defensive teams in the nation, forcing turnovers, classing the glass, struggle making their shots from three. I'm going to go ahead and agree with you. Iowa State. Good defensive teams do well in March.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have Xavier versus Kennesaw State. Where the fuck is that? Jesus.
Kennesaw? I don't know. That sounds very. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. I'm going with Xavier because that's in Ohio as well.
That's true. Xavier also has a 6. Yeah, Xavier has a 6'6" guard, Colby Jones, who's a really good 3-and-D guy. He'll be draftable. Oh my gosh, Kennesaw has won 16 out of 18 games before entering the tournament play.
Mm-hmm.
They force plenty of turnovers. Shortest team in D1. They're losing. They're losing to Xavier. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. All right. Next, we have Texas A&M versus Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Texas A&M's close to where I live. So who do you have here?
Texas A&M.
All right. Looks like Texas A&M grabs a lot of offensive rebounds, get to the free throw line. 6-year senior, Jesus, COVID helps some people here. Dexter
Mm.
Dennis frustrates his opponents with his inability to graduate college. Uh, I just had to with the wordplay.
That's funny. That was funny. Score one for Jason. That was funny. His
Thank you.
inability to graduate college. I'm sorry. That's funny though. That's
Thank
funny.
you, thank you. I had to stick it in there.
Yeah.
All right. Penn State. Uh, I think they won the Big Ten bracket, so that's why they're up here at number 10.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna choose Penn State, because hot teams can kind of make runs. So I'm just gonna choose the hot team here.
Yeah, it's over Texas A&M.
Texas versus Colgate, which is obviously a university all focused on how to brush your teeth better. I don't even know how this is a D1 school, but congratulations.
They got similar records to Texas though.
Yeah, yeah. So it looks like who do you have winning this one, Chris?
Texas.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like the senior guard. A lot of older players. Good defensive efficiency. Yeah, Colgate looks like a team that's just not really going to worry anybody. It's because they're too busy figuring out how to brush toothbrushes the best way you can. So they should be focused on what they're gifted at. All right, so we got Drake and Colgate in the same conference, the same section. Like,
Yeah.
what the heck's going on here? All right, Houston versus Auburn. Who do you have here, Chris?
I'm running with Houston.
I'm agree. They have I can't think of his name now, but they have a lottery pick over there, and they have a lot of size and athleticism and a good senior guard that's good in March Madness. So I have them beating Iowa. All right. So we both have Drake versus Kent State. So who we have winning here?
I'm going with Drake. I think Kent State is a similar Cinderella team. They lose to Drake this time.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and choose. I have Drake versus Indiana, and I'm gonna go ahead and choose Indiana because again, I love their combo between Trace Jackson Davis and Jalen Hood-Schifino. All right. We got Iowa State versus Xavier. Who do you have? Oh wait, no. Who do you have here? My bad. Do you have Iowa State versus
Xavier? Iowa? Yeah.
Okay. Who do you win?
And Xavier.
Xavier. Okay. Okay. Good defensive team, forcing turnovers. Yeah, I'm gonna choose Xavier as well. I think Xavier slips by here and gets to Sweet 16. So, I think you have Texas A&M versus Texas. Who do you have winning here?
Texas A&M.
All right. And I'm gonna choose the hot team, keep staying hot. Penn State upsets Texas. Okay. So I'm guessing you have Houston versus Drake, right?
Yes, and I have Houston winning.
Okay. I have Houston versus Indiana. I'm choosing an upset here. I'm having Indiana. I can't have all 1 and 2 seats in my Final Four either. So that's just non-authentic choices. So all right, who do you have winning? I'm guessing you have Xavier versus Texas here.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have Texas winning.
Okay. I have Xavier beating Penn State, who I have coming in here being a hot team. And who do you have between Houston and
Texas?
Who's Houston and Texas? Who do you have winning?
Houston.
All right. I have Indiana versus Xavier, and again, I'm riding the Jalen Hood-Schifino train. I think that that center guard combo is so well fit for this time frame. So, who's your Final Four, Chris? List it out for the
my
fans.
Final Four.
Yeah.
Crazy. So this was unintentional, right? But somehow I ended up with 1 seeds on both sides.
Hey, one seeds are gonna make it more than they don't. Let's be honest here. So
Yeah, so I have Alabama, who's a 1 seed,
okay,
Purdue, who's a 1 seed. I have
okay,
Houston, who's a 1 seed, and Kansas,
okay,
who's a 1 seed.
okay. All right. So Alabama versus Purdue. Who do you have winning?
Alabama.
Okay. I have Alabama versus Marquette here, and I'm gonna choose Alabama. They're a bad matchup for Marquette, so I have Alabama in the national championship as well. All right, so I think you have Houston versus Kansas here. Who do you have winning?
Kansas.
Okay, I'm gonna keep on riding the Indiana Hoosiers train. Them beating Kansas. I love this team. Watch them play. I'm a big fan of Jalen Hochefino. This is bias here. It's my podcast. I do what the fuck I want. So, who do you have in winning your national championship, Chris?
Kansas with a 2 year in a row.
All right. Again, Indiana, Jalen Hochefino, Trace Jackson. Again, I am biased. I watched him play. I love the kid. I watched them beat Purdue, and while scouting Jalen Hochefino and Taylor Davis, and I'm going Indiana all the way, baby.
Yeah, I'm
Hoosierville.
going Kansas City. I mean not Kansas City. Yeah, Kansas City Jayhawks all the way.
All right. All right.
Yep.
So we'll go ahead and submit these picks, and we'll just kind of like compare them as we move along,
Yeah,
as these things happen.
submit. Yeah. Okay.
MIYT. All right. So now we're gonna go ahead and transition to like normal basketball stuff, NBA basketball. So one of the things that I definitely think about what this current season is going on is one thing I want to talk about is Brook Lopez is not a defensive player of the year. Okay. In power rankings for DPOY, he is number one. Have you seen that 34-year-old move? Okay. It is the system. This is just like Rudy Gobert all over again. They play drop coverage. He has good stats. Is he a good defensive player? Sure. Brook Lopez is not a DPOY level guy. Now, for the last 2 years, I've been like Draymond Green, Draymond Green, Draymond Green. He's not as athletic, so I can't choose him. But Jaren Jackson Jr. should walk away with this with a mile of space. What's even more crazy is I first thought about this. I was like, Jaren Jackson Jr. should not be the DPOY guy. I walked into watching him play specifically a game, specifically trying to disprove him as DPOY. But he is so special defensively that he disproved my initial bias in that situation. He's phenomenal. He guards so much space. He's so switchable. He can guard the perimeter. He's a great shot blocker at the rim. He understands basketball defense. He understands where to be. He doesn't get beat a lot of backdoor cuts. It's not like he's just a gifted guy that doesn't understand how to be positioned. There's a balance between aggressive and being too aggressive where you get beat easily. And he really does all of that extremely well. He's a good on-ball defender as well, like on the wings. So me personally, man, Jaren Jackson Jr. is the only DPOY level defender in the NBA right now. Like it's a lack of really great DPOY guys, and Jaren Jackson Jr. man, guards 1 through 5 does everything. He's my DPOY, and Brook Lopez better not win that fucking award. That's all I gotta say. Jesus Christ.
I feel like he might. I feel like the system, the way the system is set up, especially for him on the Bucks,
Yeah.
for him to get all the easy blocks and to get the what I mean, and it makes it easier for them to go and look at that and go, oh,
Yeah.
this is a great defensive player, and they don't really ignore players like Jared Jackson. But yeah, Jaren Jackson Jr. So I would go with Jaren Jackson Jr. But it's not up to me. I don't get a vote in that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would also like to rescind a take to all you NBA fans. I watched LA Clippers wanting to keep on being proved why I thought I was right about the take about them being one of the best teams in the West. And even though they got Russell Westbrook, and I feel like they got that passing handled, right? They don't allow him to touch the ball enough, even when he's still on the floor. They still run a lot of sets for Kawhi and Paul George, and they're still having them touch the ball more than they should, like on the initially. You know what I mean? Um, so I feel like he's not as used as well as he could be. They don't really have a point guard when he's on the bench, so they still have issues. And on top of that, they have a ridiculously predictable offense. Like when I say that by ridiculously predictable, I started counting the amount of times in a game, a full game, where they didn't start their offensive set from the middle of the floor. It was 3. Every single time they either ran a pick and roll or somebody came off an off ball screen, which was just like 5 times in a game. Everybody always caught the ball or set up the offense in the middle of the floor. You know how easy that is to read and set up and basically stop? Think about all the side to side movement that happens in the NBA. Like, you are so ridiculous. Like, it's like Tyrell Lue's a high school coach, bro. Any good coach is going to basically take the middle away. Like, I saw the Toronto Raptors doing it because they were playing against Toronto. Right, and Nick Nurse is not a bad coach, and you should have seen the Toronto defense. The 3 times that they attacked their wing, they were like, "What are we doing?" They just looked at each other like, "What the fuck's going on here?" Because they've been used to. It's like so ridiculously simple, and everything's a pick and roll, and the NBA is more than just pick and rolls. Tyrell Lue, and you're like, you're not. That's what a fan would think. But think about all the off ball movement. Think about all the cutting that happens in most NBA teams. The Clippers do none of that. Nobody relies on individual talent more to score than the Clippers, and that's an issue. Even though they have great individual talent. So, and defensively, they don't have an identity either. I mean, they run drop coverage, but that's just basically the way the center plays things. It's not like an identity. So, Kawhi's also not the same defensively, even though he's good offensively still. So, the Clippers are not going to do what I thought they're going to do. I was wrong. Jason Collins was wrong. And it's not Russell Westbrook's fault. Okay? Get off that train. It's not his fault.
I don't remember exactly, but I think there might have been. I think I might have said that I didn't believe in the Clippers. I think I might have said that, and I'm glad you finally, see the light.
You're right. You're right.
I don't believe in the Clippers. And I feel like it's not the Clippers' fault, talent wise, right? Because you say they do, and it's true, they do have a lot of individual talent.
Yes.
But that is not going to win you anything. You got to play as a team. So I feel like coaching wise is where their big problem lies. And when they figure out the coaching issue, then they'll be a better team because they'll find somebody who can like actually get them to mesh well and be a team and not just be Kawhi, space, Paul George, ellipsis, Russell Westbrook. When they get them into play as a team, as a cohesive unit, then that'll work better. I think that they should be coach shopping very soon. As soon as they have their first round exit.
Yeah.
Coach shopping should be happening very soon.
Little foreshadowing there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that scares. Yeah, Ime would fit. Ime would fit a lot of good teams. Something that scares me about is the Warriors. Andrew Wiggins has some personal issues. He's been missing some games, so I'm waiting for him to come back to hopefully be able to scout them. But hopefully he does come back because without Andrew Wiggins, they are not going anywhere. They need that forward defender. So. Hopefully whatever his personal issues get resolved, but it sounds like it's pretty serious, whatever's going on. But them and the Suns, I want to wait until they play a good team, healthy, for me to really be able to judge how good they're going to be. But the Suns look really good, though. Like I was worried about them fitting and gelling, but Monty and CP3 seem like they're going to kind of stem the worries that I used to have about them. At least the eye test wise, which is good for the Suns because the Suns definitely can be the best team in the West. And the Lakers can definitely make it to the Western Conference Finals. I mean, the way they're playing without Legout, that's really impressive. So, a lot of teams in flux in the West. No.
You said the Warriors and the Utah Jazz. Those are, I think the Utahs. I mean, not the Utah Jazz, the Suns. I'm not really big on the Suns right now. Like, not super big. We have to watch some more games, but from what I was seeing, I was like, they got to figure that out. Warriors just beat the Nuggets though, so and and it was a normal game for the Nuggets. Like Yoke dropped a triple double and they still lost. So I don't know. And then the Andrew Wiggins thing as well. I thought that it came out that they're hoping that he might be able to play next season. I thought.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how long it's gonna be for, but if it's
Hmm.
playoffs, then they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Because if Clay has to guard somebody every single night like he used to do, he does not have the legs to do that anymore defensively.
Yeah.
He is not the same guy. So, and it's gonna get in the way of him scoring offensively as well. So they just, without Wiggs, they have nothing. They really need him. They don't have any depth at the forward position as well, other than Kuminga. But they don't like playing Kuminga because he doesn't fit their scheme. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Same issue with James Wiseman. James Wiseman. Hey, hello, James Wiseman. James Wiseman showing flashes. I mean, the guy looks like he has a really good stand up mid range game. Pull it, shoot over you, get to the handle, get to the rim and finish. Good post game, good standstill 3-point shooter. He has a lot in his game, and it's really impressive. He's so huge too. So James Wiseman's looking good in Detroit, which is a good sign for them moving forward. Cade Ivy,
Told you.
yeah, you're right. Cade Ivy and Wiseman,
Yeah.
nice core moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Detroit's looking good. Detroit's looking good.
Yeah.
Lakers 8-3. 8-3. They've been playing a lot better.
They fit so well
Team
together.
chemistry is up. They're
Yes.
playing great. And LeBron's not even playing right now. So that should be
Uh-huh.
scary times for the rest of the Western Conference.
I agree.
Scary hours.
I agree, Chris. I 100% agree.
Scary hours. Didn't know Dylan was that good. I didn't know.
Now we do. Hey.
And AD's been playing great too, though, consistently.
Yeah, true.
Which is big.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You know who somebody we were 100% right on preseason? Miami
Who?
Heat. Aren't they exactly what we said they would be? We're like, they're not going to be a top 4 team in the East. We know they've been ridiculous in the playoffs for so many years in a row. Their formula is they need that wing next to Jimmy. They have nobody there. And, now they're starting Kevin Love. Like, that's how desperate they are for a forward. They're playing a guy who can't defend just because you get 3-point shoot and pass. Yeah, Miami's.
They missed it.
Yeah, they missed that formula. The formula is broken right now. Yeah,
I think they'll figure it out. I don't understand. Like they missed their opportunity to get the players that they need. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. You kind of shipped out for Kyle Lowry, and then that kind of turned into a bust. And now you have like nobody. When we should have been trying to get Jay Crowder back.
Yeah, I agree. And I was really banging on the table about like Tyler Hero needs to start this year, maybe the best year they have going forward of like being able to win right now, and they didn't do it. And now we're sitting here and we were right. We were right. Simple as that.
Yeah. That's those old school coaches though, because he doesn't play any defense. So
yeah, old school coaches. Yeah, Spo is one of those. Pat Riley disciple. Yeah. You don't know who somebody's really flashing though? Jalen Green. Jalen Green's perimeter shot creation from the 3-point line is really coming along. Those two things connect between his athletic gifts. He's going to be a great player. I definitely love watching that guy play. He's so athletic, so freaky.
Yeah. Definitely freaky. Just hope James Harden doesn't go and ruin it.
That's a fact, Chris. That's a fact.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much for listening, for tuning in yet again. It's been really fun. March Madness is starting soon, around the corner. We have 2 mystery teams that we need to figure out who's gonna be in there.
Yeah.
And there's more basketball on the way too. Playing tournament. We have a couple teams that are really close to being within that 60 Lakers.
Yeah, true.
And so we can't wait to see who gets in the play-in. We'll be reporting on that. The playoffs, of course.
Yeah.
And then at the end of March Madness, we might do something. So, and then look out for Jason's episode. For all of you, basketball buffs out there, we have the scouting report coming soon.
Yes. 41 guys
So-
already scouted full games.
41. That's ridiculous. 41 games already scouted. Tell me it's not an argument.